Number 10, the CinemaCon incident. As Olivia was presenting at CinemaCon and promoting her new movie Don't Worry Darling, a woman from the audience approached her while she was still on stage and handed her a yellow envelope, which read personal and confidential. The whole thing was caught on camera, and as the actress opened the envelope, she found out it was custody papers from her former partner Jason Sudeikis. After a brief moment of shock, she decided to continue on with her presentation, but later decided to accuse her ex of maliciously planning the incident. She told Variety, "In any other workplace, it would be seen as an attack. I hated that this nastiness distracted from the work of so many different people, and that the studio that I was up there representing, and to try and sabotage that was really vicious. But you know, sadly, it was not something that was entirely surprising to me. I mean, there's a reason I left that relationship, but the truth is that Jason was not able to choose the time or the place that the papers were served. So Olivia claiming that he was trying to sabotage her moment was completely untrue." If you're loving this video so far, please hit that like button, it would really help us out. Number 9, Harry Styles' relationship. If there's one thing that the internet loves to do right now, it's tear down the romance between Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles. The couple met on the set of the movie Don't Worry Darling, which Olivia directed. He joined the cast in the fall of 2020, and by January 2021, the duo was spotted holding hands at a wedding, which naturally caused everyone to lose their mind. There has also been a lot of valid criticism directed at the couple, with some people questioning the timeline of their relationship, and they felt that Olivia moved on just too quickly after breaking up with her ex Jason Sudeikis. Former couple called off their 7-year engagement in November last year, and they share 2 kids together. But most of the hate is due to the fact that she's 10 years older than Harry, which gets brought up a lot when we see that an older woman is dating a younger man, but often it's not the other way around. They are also mad that she is in a position of power over him, as she directed the movie that he was starring in. So in a way, their whole relationship is a huge red flag. Number 8, queerphobia. Olivia Wilde has faced huge backlash after alleged homophobic comments she made in previous interviews resurfaced online. The 38-year-old actress has been slammed by the LGBTQ+ community for comparing changing roles in her career to that of someone who was making a life-changing decision about sexuality. In the interview, she was talking about what it was like going from being an actress to being a director, and she said it felt like coming out of the closet. She angered that same community again on another occasion, when she said that before she met Jason Sudeikis in 2011, she considered having a soft kind of lesbian relationship. Although it's totally fine to question your sexuality, people were mainly upset that Olivia claimed to have considered becoming gay just because she was lonely, which feeds into the stereotype that women only get into queer relationships because they don't seem to have any men in their life. Number 7, Shia LaBeouf comments. The actor was initially cast as Jack in Don't Worry Darling. However, pretty soon news broke in September of 2020 that Olivia had replaced him with Harry Styles. But the story that she began circulating was a little strange. She alleged that she fired Shia due to a no a-hole policy that she had while directing. She told Variety, "Shia's process was not conducive to the ethos that I demand in my productions. He has a process that in some ways seems to require a combative energy, and I don't personally believe that it is conducive to the best performances. Ultimately, my responsibility is to the production and to the cast to protect them." Just by her choice of words, Olivia made it sound as though he was a danger to the cast and crew, and that she had to fire him in order to protect everyone on set. This would have been easier for her to say, considering that Shia is being plagued by accusations of domestic violence at the moment, but in this instance, it was a blatant lie. Number 6, Kiki Layne. When it comes to the widely publicized drama surrounding Don't Worry Darling, there is new information being spilled every day. Kiki Layne and Ariel Stachel are now speaking out about how they were cut from most of the movie. They played the characters Margaret and Ted Watkins. Margaret serves as Alice's close friend and helps the protagonist in solving the mystery behind the Victory Project. The actress recently posted a video and 2 sweet images of the on-screen couple from the movie set on Instagram, but it was her caption that got everyone talking. She wrote, "The best thing about Don't Worry Darling is that I am lucky enough to meet Ariel Stachel. They cut us from most of the movie, but we're thriving in real life." When her Instagram post blew up, the outrage also grew. And one user commented, "Olivia Wilde cut a majority of the only POC characters out of her movie, marketed as a movie showcasing female pleasure, when it was only about women being literally entrapped without their consent. and you still want to defend her? Number 5, leaked video. In response to Olivia's comments, Shia publicly exposed the truth behind his leaving of the project. And in the biggest revenge move ever, he emailed both Olivia and Variety magazine, saying, "You and I both know the reasons for my exit. I quit your film because your actors and I couldn't find the time to rehearse. Firing me never took place, Olivia. And while I fully understand the attractiveness of pushing that story because of the current social landscape, the social currency that brings, it is not the truth. So I am humbly asking, as the person with an eye toward making things right, that you correct the narrative as best as you can." Shia then leaked a video of Olivia practically begging him to stay in the film and making it seem like Florence Pugh was the only one who didn't want him there. In the clip, she tells Shia that she is not ready to give up on the possibility of him working in the film, saying, "The fact that you're leaving might be a bit of a wake-up call to Miss Flo." That video went viral and the result was utter chaos. Number 4, underpaying Florence. Early into the production of the movie, there were reports that Harry earned triple his co-star's salary, despite Florence being the film's leading lady. In early August, Showbiz Galore reported that she only took home $700,000 for her role as Alice, which sounds like a lot, but Harry was reported to be paid $3 million to play the supporting role of Jack, her husband, which if true would also be even more than the other notable co-stars in the film, like Chris Pine, who reportedly only made $600,000. But Olivia refuted the allegations and told Variety there is absolutely no validity to those claims. There has been a lot out there and I largely don't pay attention to it. She went on to call the pay disparity non-existent and said, "I'm a woman who has been in this business for over 20 years, and it's something that I have fought for myself and others, especially being a director. It's no secret that it's been an ongoing battle for men and women to have the same pay for film projects that they do together, so it's understandable that fans were fuming at the possibility that Florence was actually underpaid." Number 3, rude jokes. In March of 2011, after 8 years of marriage, Olivia filed for divorce from her first husband, Italian Prince Taurus Poli. While he was heartbroken after the split, it seemed like the actress was more focused on publicly humiliating her ex. In 2020, at an event hosted by Glamour magazine, she discussed trying to fake happiness with her ex-husband towards the end of her marriage. In fact, she aired out all their dirty laundry and even talked about how bad their sex life was. Quote, "I felt like my died, turned off, lights out. You can lie to your relatives at Christmas dinner and tell them everything on the home front is just peachy, but you cannot lie to your..." It really sounded like that was her attempt at a sex joke, but it wasn't great considering that it sounded like she just wanted to get up on stage and say that Tao was bad in bed. Even if she was joking, many people would agree that the whole thing was done in bad taste. Number 2, Richard Jewell. When the 2019 film came out, it was steeped in controversy, mostly because of Olivia's portrayal of real-life journalist Kathy Scruggs. The real Kathy, who died in 2001, was working at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution when she broke a story that the FBI was investigating the security guard Richard Jewell for the in Centennial Olympic Park during the 1996 Olympics. But the issue with the movie was that it depicted the iconic female journalist as having traded sex for information, which was particularly offensive considering the fact that there was no evidence that the real Kathy Scruggs ever did that, and even many of her past colleagues ended up coming forward and condemning the movie. In general, Olivia didn't seem to see a problem with it and actually made several statements defending the movie, but audiences found her character to be sexist, demeaning, and an outright insulting trope imposed on women. This led to a boycott of the film, as a lot of people in the journalism industry were up in arms over the portrayal. And coming in at number 1, the premiere. While Florence Pugh did not end up walking the red carpet, the internet could literally not get over how distant she was from Olivia the whole time. The 26-year-old was obviously giving her the cold shoulder, which comes as no surprise following all the rumors of tension between the two actresses. Not only that, but the weird vibes continued into the screening, where Florence and Olivia had to be seated 3 people apart. According to multiple eyewitnesses inside the screening, the actresses maintained their cold demeanors towards each other, and Florence even turned away from her when she started crying during the standing ovation. While yes, she did walk the festival's red carpet with the rest of the cast, she only posed for group shots, and the 2 women were not photographed together alone at all. And Florence didn't even pose for pictures with Harry either. So as much as Olivia loves to deny it, it's clear that there is still some deep resentment between them, and it would be very unlikely likely that they ever work together again in the future.
Number 10. Candace Owens. In 2020, when Harry Styles made history as the first male to have a solo cover of Vogue, what really surprised people was that he wore a dress. The conservative commentator did not approve of his clothing choice, and so she tweeted, "There is no society that can survive without strong men. The East knows this, in the West, the steady feminization of our men at the same time that Marxism is being taught to our children is not a coincidence. It is an outright attack. Bring back manly men." In response to this, Olivia Wilde called Candace pathetic for basically attacking Harry's gender expression and conflating wearing a dress with being feminine. Then in response to that tweet, Candace hit back at Olivia, tweeting, "You're single for a reason," referencing her split from longtime partner Jason Sudeikis, which was announced just days earlier. The Twitter feud recently resurfaced online and has since gone viral after the actress was spotted holding hands with Harry at one of his friends' weddings a few weeks ago. But many fans pointed to the tweets as evidence that Olivia has always been defending and standing up for Harry. Number 9. Shia LaBeouf. The actor was initially cast as Jack in Olivia Wilde's upcoming film Don't Worry Darling, which debuts in theaters this fall. However, news broke in September of 2020 that she had replaced him with Harry Styles. But the story that Olivia began circulating was a little different. She alleged that she fired Shia due to a no a-hole policy that she had while directing. She told Variety, "Shia's process was not conducive to the ethos that I demand in my productions. He has a process that, in some ways, seems to require a combative energy, and I don't personally believe that is conducive to the best performances. Ultimately, my responsibility is to production and to the cast to protect them." But Shia was not happy with this side of the story and decided to publicly expose Olivia. He emailed both the director and Variety and denied that he was fired, instead saying, "You and I both know the reasons for my exit. I quit your film because of your actors, and I couldn't find time to rehearse." And in the most explosive revenge move ever, Shia then leaked a video of Olivia practically begging him to stay in the film and making it seem like Florence Pugh was the problem and she was the one who didn't want him there. The video went viral and the result was utter chaos. Number 8. Amani Babaran. The author, influencer, and activist reacted to the hypocrisy surrounding the viral video that was leaked of Olivia Wilde addressing the feud between Shia LaBeouf and Florence Pugh. She tweeted, "This whole Olivia Wilde thing reminds me of the Whitney Cummings thing. Reminds me of so many recent incidents in Hollywood where white women have revealed that they acquire power in the industry not because they challenge norms but tout female empowerment while changing nothing." In the clip, the 38-year-old is seen driving a car and speaking to the camera at the same time. She tells Shia that she is not ready to give up on the possibility of him working on the film, despite the fact that she later claimed to have fired him. But in reality, the video exposed that she was the one pleading with him to stay on the project. Shia was pretty much out to expose her and wrote an email to Variety explaining how everything went down. Quote, "Firing me never took place, Olivia, and while I fully understand the attractiveness of pushing that story because of the current social landscape, the social currency that brings, it is not the truth. So I am humbly asking, as a person with an eye toward making things right, that you correct the narrative as best as you can." Number 7. Tao Ruspoli. Olivia met her first husband, filmmaker and Italian prince Tao Ruspoli, through a friend of her family's in late 2002. The actress wasn't initially eager to meet him, but she warmed to the idea and she was charmed by his personality, charisma, and political activism. Just 6 months later, they eloped and seemed to be truly happy, and would eventually go on to pursue several film projects together. But in March of 2011, 8 years after eloping, Olivia filed for divorce from Tao. He did seem to be a lot more heartbroken out of the two of them, and even made a documentary called Monogamish, which was inspired by his heartbreak over the divorce. In the film, he revealed, "My wife just left me after nearly 10 years together, and my whole world has crumbled." But for her part, it seemed like Olivia almost wanted to embarrass her ex. In 2020, at an event hosted by Glamour Mag, she discussed trying to fake happiness with her ex-husband towards the end of her marriage. In fact, she aired out all their dirty laundry and talked about how bad their sex life was. Quote, "I felt like my vagina died. Turned off, lights out. You can lie to your relatives at Christmas dinner and tell them everything on the home front is just peachy, but you cannot lie to your Even if she was joking, that would have been a little painful for anyone to hear." Number 6. Gianmarco Soresi. As Olivia Wilde was presenting at CinemaCon and talking about her new movie Don't Worry Darling, a woman from the audience approached her and handed her a yellow envelope, which read "Personal and Confidential." The whole thing was caught on camera. As the actress opened the envelope, she found that it was custody papers from her former partner Jason Sudeikis. After a brief moment of shock, she decided to continue on with her presentation, but later addressed the bizarre moment in an interview with Variety. Quote, "In any other workplace, it would be seen as an attack. It was really upsetting. It shouldn't have been able to happen. There was a huge breach in security, which is really scary. The incident put Jason in a really bad light, but surprisingly, some people thought it was staged." Gianmarco Cerezi, a New York actor and stand-up comedian, seemed to believe that the whole thing was a PR stunt. He tweeted, "We're a couple of days away from finding out that Olivia Wilde served herself custody papers." Not only did his tweet blow up, but a lot of people were apparently thinking the same thing. As another user wrote, "On the very same day, Olivia just announced the release of the trailer of her new movie, and days later, Jason started a new project. As if they wanted all the attention on them. Open your eyes." Wow. Number 5. Florence Pugh. As we know, the Hollywood it girl appears in Olivia Wilde's upcoming film alongside Harry Styles. However, there was reportedly much tension on the set between the two women. Florence allegedly wasn't too happy seeing her director hook up with Harry, considering the fact that at the time she was still married to Jason Sudeikis. But the main reason for the feud between the two actresses is because Florence reportedly did not feel safe or comfortable playing Shia's love interest in the movie, as the actor has been recently plagued with disturbing allegations like accusations of domestic violence. And while Olivia made it seem like she was understanding and going to accommodate her request, the video Shia leaked of her tells a different story entirely. In the video, Olivia sounded heartbroken that he was leaving the project, and instead makes it seem like Florence was the problem after all. She said, "The fact that you're leaving might be a little bit of a wake-up call to Miss Flo. If she really commits, if she really puts her mind and heart into this at this point, and if you guys can make peace, and I respect your point of view, I respect hers, but if you guys can do it, what do you think?" So it's easy to see why Florence would be upset at that. Number 4. Vanessa Hudgens. When the High School Musical star made some pretty controversial comments complaining about having to quarantine and COVID restrictions, Olivia Wilde was quick to shut her down. During the Instagram live, Vanessa Hudgens said, "Yeah, till July sounds like a bunch of BS. I'm sorry. It's a virus. I get it. I respect it. But at the same time, like, even if everybody gets it, people are gonna die, which is terrible, but like inevitable." Her tone-deaf comments earned her a whole bunch of backlash on social media, especially from Olivia, who slammed her in a tweet of her own, writing, "In 1,000 years, they'll dig up our society and find this precious digital moment and be like, oh okay, so this is why they mysteriously disappeared from the earth." She also left emojis of a head shaking in disappointment. All the criticism ultimately led the actress to return to her Instagram to clear up the misunderstandings. Vanessa wrote, "Hey guys, so yesterday I did an Instagram live and I realized that some of my comments are being taken out of context," and she proceeded to apologize for coming off as insensitive. It's unclear whether or not the two have made up since 2020, but it's likely Vanessa is still feeling the sting from being burned online. Number 3. Mark Joseph Stern. When the 2009 movie Richard Jewell came out, it was steeped in controversy, mostly because of Olivia Wilde's portrayal of real-life journalist Kathy Scruggs. The real Kathy, who died in 2001, was working at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution when she broke a story that the FBI was investigating a security guard named Richard Jewell for the bombing in Centennial Olympic Park during the 1996 Olympics. But the issue with the movie was that it depicted the iconic female journalist as having traded sex for information, which was particularly offensive considering the fact that there was no evidence Kathy Scruggs ever did that, and even many of her past colleagues came forward condemning the movie. Slate's senior writer was among the loudest voices in protest of the film and slammed Olivia for her role. Quote, "Please do not pay to see movies that feature fictional female journalists who sleep with sources for a story. It's egregiously sexist, demeaning, and an insulting trope at this stage, and I don't see an appropriate response other than a flat-out boycott. It's 2019. Smart, thoughtful people have condemned this offensive trope loudly and consistently for years. They have persuasively explained why it is abhorrent. And he wasn't the only one taking offense." Number 2. Jessica Biel. There was once a claim out there that Jessica Biel did not want Justin Timberlake to be anywhere near his ex-girlfriend Olivia Wilde and allegedly sees her as a threat. It's completely understandable that Jessica wouldn't be jumping at the opportunity for Justin to work with Olivia again, given that in 2011 they were seen partying together at a Hollywood club called the Roxbury, and allegedly got pretty handsy before leaving together at 3 a.m. The actors, who were co-stars at the time in the movie Now, reportedly cuddled in a VIP section before moving out onto the patio. Eyewitnesses said that the two of them were even seen kissing. Even though Olivia responded to the rumors by tweeting, "Cool it, honey badgers, we are just friends and have been for years." But not only that, Jessica's marriage to Justin was also tested in 2019 when he was spotted with his co-star Alicia holding hands during a night out in New Orleans. The photos caused a huge scandal, and Justin had to make a public statement the following month, apologizing for his strong lapse in judgment and claimed that despite the photos, nothing happened between him and his co-star. So Justin certainly has a rocky history when it comes to infidelity. And coming in at number 1, Jason Sudeikis. After a 7-year engagement, the pair announced that they had separated in November of 2020. Like most celebrity couples that live in the public eye, their divorce is very messy, and so was their big public breakup and bitter custody battle over their 2 young children. But it seems like these two are still at each other's throats, which may or may not be due to the fact that Olivia allegedly cheated on Jason with Harry Styles, which was one of the main reasons for their split. In fact, it was heavily implied that the two of them had been having an affair for around a month before the breakup. And what made it even worse was that Jason reportedly didn't realize it was happening and even brought their children to visit the set. The actress and director was faced with a bitter surprise when she was served custody papers halfway through her talk. She later told Variety, "I hated that this nastiness distracted from the work of so many different people, and the studio that I was up there representing try and sabotage that was really vicious. But you know, sadly, it was not something that was entirely surprising to me. I mean, there's a reason that I left that relationship." Ouch.
At number 10, we have Justin Bieber. Tom Cruise's train of haters doesn't just end with A-list Hollywood actors and actresses. Apparently, Justin Bieber is one of them as well, or is he? Justin and Tom's history doesn't go that far back, as their interaction, or lack thereof, was so random. Literally, no one saw it coming. A few years ago, Justin tweeted out to his fans about wanting to fight Tom. Fans were understandably confused because where was this coming from? One fan asked, "Why Tom Cruise of all people?" And another said, "Did I miss something?" Both very valid points, as there had been no exchange between the two that would explain why Justin would want to fight Tom. A year later, the singer explained the intention behind his tweet, and it's anticlimactic as it comes. In an interview, he said, "I don't know, I was just being stupid, to be honest." So no, he doesn't actually want to fight Tom, and there doesn't seem to be any real bad blood between them. He also admitted that it was just a random tweet, which he claims to do often. He had seen one of Tom's interviews at the time. It honestly could have been any celebrity, but that day it just happened to be Tom. At number 9, we have Kate Middleton and Prince William. Tom was at the premiere for the sequel Top Gun Maverick. This was a royal charity premiere event, so Prince William and Kate were attending the premiere as well. Sounds random if you ask me, but I don't know how these things work, so what do I know? Once the royal couple made it to the carpet, they were greeted by Tom as well as some other staff crew. But Tom took it upon himself to escort them personally. I don't know if it was to suck up to them both for the press or he valued them that much, but it could easily be both. It's not every day a member of the royal family would partake in such an event, never mind two. Videos at the premiere showed him offer his hand to Kate, and viewers praised Tom for being a gentleman. But others believe that Kate and Prince William were actually uncomfortable with it. One fan pointed out that Kate had held her clutch in her other hand to avoid taking Tom's hand again. One other person commented how she apparently looked mortified and that the royals aren't to be touched, even by a wildly successful actor like Tom himself. They also claimed how Kate is a conservative woman, so holding hands with just about anyone is already a no-no, but she had done it in the spur of the moment as to not create a scene. At number 8, we have Trey Parker and Matt Stone. When it comes to South Park and its jokes, it usually treads against dark humor waters, as many adult comedy shows are. If you're a big name, chances are they've probably joked about you at least once. And Tom Cruise was not an exception, whom the writers later found themselves in a potential legal battle with. Back in 2005, there were talks of the actor suing Trey Parker and Matt Stone for defamation after they insinuated something about him on their show. The joke in question was Tom's character inside a closet with an animated version of his ex Nicole Kidman urging him to come out of said closet. The writers were implying his sexuality, which he didn't like. Now for a case like defamation, you'd think that they were out to literally defame his name and character. It became such an issue, the episode that came after had a disclaimer that read, "All characters and events on this show, even those based on real persons, are entirely fictional." It remains unclear if Tom ended up going through with this case or not, but at the time, rumors regarding his sexuality was talked about a lot in Hollywood, and it wasn't the first time someone was warned of being sued by the actor for these claims. At number 7, we have Kate Seberano. Lots of people thought that he and Australian singer Kate Seberano were close buddies when it was revealed she is also a member of the Scientology church. And if you didn't know, Tom Cruise is known for two things: being an actor and being an active member of Scientology. So everyone thought the two were at least in similar social circles until the singer shut them down. They are in fact not friends, as she further described the rumor that it's like assuming every Catholic person was friends with the Pope. And that's actually a valid point too. Scientology has quite the following, but that doesn't mean everyone knows each other. That's literally impossible. In 2009, when Tom was still with Kate, they were seen going to Australia, which is when the beliefs started going around. When asked if she met up with the stars, she said no and that she doesn't even know them. She rarely ever mentions her Scientology beliefs and doesn't like how often she's associated with Tom just because of it. She also decided that it isn't even worth her time or energy to keep denying them and allows people to decide whatever they want to believe despite her telling the truth. When asked about it, she said, "You know how it goes in the end, you go whatever." At number 6, we have Kirsty Alley. It was believed that there was some bad blood between the two, or that it was one-sided beef that Tom had with the actress. When it was first reported that Kirsty passed away last year, people thought that Tom would at least acknowledge it to the public, as many others did. But he didn't. Rumors that there was drama between the two started after Leah Remini's memoir briefly mentioned how Tom didn't like Kirsty, and the way he dealt with the news of her passing only seemed to solidify it. In the memoir, she also wrote how Kirsty was one of the few that wasn't even invited to Tom and Katie Holmes' wedding in 2006. Nothing was confirmed, but it was definitely clear that Kirsty was at least a loyal person and fellow member of the Scientology church alongside Tom. When talks of Tom and the church auditioning women to become his wife came out, she defended Tom. When asked about it, she said, "I think whenever you have articles written that there are third and fourth parties' opinions, it's like the game Gossip and you don't get the truth. I think that a magazine of that caliber should have interviewed him and then they would get the truth." Next on the list, we have Nazanin Boniandi. Before Tom married Kate, he was married to actress Nazanin. Their marriage was met with tons of criticism due to the unorthodox ways of going through with it. It was reported that he needed someone who shared the same religious beliefs as him, as his previous relationships with members outside of Scientology didn't work out. Apparently, Nazanin had been accepted into one of their institution's buildings meant for celebrities, where she met one of the Scientologist higher-ups. He told her she was meant to complete a mission that would help her meet lots of other Scientologists like herself. Apparently, she was dating and was engaged to another man at the time, which they coerced her into breaking up with him, along with telling her to get rid of her red hair and her short-term braces. This confrontation also came with an agreement that said if she messed up in any way, she would be shunned by the church and her own mother. It was this contract where she allegedly agreed to marry Tom. Lots of her rights and personal freedoms were no longer hers, as she basically signed her life away. These reports were never officially confirmed, as many are still speculation, but she did end up leaving the church altogether when she and Tom divorced in 1990. Next on the list at number 4, we have David Miscavige. These two were friends, and this is said with a huge question mark because their friendship was weird. One former member of Scientology who worked closely with David said that their friendship was the most intense, expensive romance in history. As a world-famous Hollywood actor and as the leader of Scientology, this makes sense considering their huge roles in society. It was reported that Tom's fame in the industry was constantly a liability, especially when the news broke out that he and Katie were getting divorced. He allegedly was not happy with this new wave of negative attention the church was receiving as a result. even though Scientology has always had a bad rep if I'm not mistaken. He was convinced that their divorce brought upon lies and misconception about their beliefs. Supposedly, one former Scientologist used Tom's divorce as their way to further smear the church with lies so they could promote themselves. And then there were rumors that Tom himself would be leaving Scientology as well. But this was back in 2012. Seeing as he's still an active participant in his church, I don't think he'll be leaving anytime soon. At number 3, we have Penelope Cruz. The two actors met on set of the movie Vanilla Sky, where they both starred in it. Tom was still married to Nicole Kidman at the time, and the timeline transitioning between relationships was questionable. When he and Nicole had their divorce finalized in August 2001, was the same month Tom and Penelope went public as a couple for the first time. Despite rumors she involved herself with a married man, she shut them down. She said, "I've never fallen in love with someone I'm working with. It's always been afterwards. If something becomes friendship, then maybe months later it becomes something else, but you can never know." And the two seemed very happy together. They were both successful and undeniably attractive, so what could go wrong? They ended up breaking up 3 years later, and it was believed that his Scientologist views were a big part of it. One source claimed that Tom was looking to propose, but Penelope felt that the Church of Scientology was the third wheel in their relationship. Penelope doesn't have anything against the church, but it just wasn't her thing. She admired Tom's dedication to it, but it wasn't her cup of tea and wasn't something she wanted to give her life up for. At number 2, we have Mimi Rogers. Now, before Katie Holmes and Penelope Cruz and Nicole Kidman, there was Mimi Rogers. The two met and started dating in 1985, but they both can't seem to agree on how they met. Tom said they met at a dinner party, while Mimi claimed they were set up by friends. Their marriage happened just as fast, as they were wed in a super secret and private wedding ceremony in 1987. The fact that they both couldn't agree how they met, it makes sense then that they also couldn't agree on how or why they decided to separate in 1990. This time, it was ideas between them two and rumors brought forth by fans and the media. Some included Mimi being jealous of Tom's success in Hollywood, as she is also an actress herself, their 6-year age gap that took a toll on their marriage, and even the fact that she hated being constantly referred to as Tom's wife. Their public statement announcing the divorce didn't make anything clearer. That was until Mimi said in an interview that Tom confessed that he wanted to become a monk and that their marriage wouldn't have been able to withstand his spiritual needs. And finally, at number 1, we have Suri Cruz. In case you didn't know, because I for sure didn't, Tom has 3 children in total. His first 2 kids were with Nicole Kidman, and Suri is his youngest and latest daughter with Katie Holmes. When he and Katie got divorced, people questioned what would become of their parenting situation. Would they have joint custody? Would Suri go stay with her mom? Allegedly, Tom was not granted any custody, and it was all appointed to Katie. While Tom's relationship with his 2 elder kids remains stable as they're also members of Scientology, people believe that the same can't be said for his relationship with Suri. One source claimed that they were estranged. The last time Tom was seen in public with Suri was in 2012, and they were spending a day together in Disneyland. 2012 was also the year he and Katie got divorced, so speculators claim that that was one of the last times he got to see her. Another source claimed their estrangement was only inevitable as Katie left him to protect their daughter from Scientology. Now imagine having such a bad reputation. We can list down at least 20 notable individuals in the industry that probably don't like you. The range this man has, and I'm not just talking about his acting career.
Number 10, Mark Wahlberg. In 2013, a series of leaked court documents suggested that Tom Cruise had compared working on a film to being as intense as fighting in Afghanistan. It's safe to say that this statement did not go down well with Mark Wahlberg. Later down the line, while he was promoting his film Lone Survivor, which was based on actual events of the failed 2005 mission Operation Red Wings, where Mark played the role of a Navy SEAL. When asked about the difficulty of shooting the film, he went on an angry rant. Quote, "For actors to sit there and talk about, oh, I went to SEAL training and I slept on the floor. I don't give an F what you did. You don't do what these guys did. For somebody to sit there and say, my job was as difficult as somebody in the military's, how effing dare you, while you sit in a makeup chair for 2 hours. He added that at the end of the day, actors get to go home, go to their hotel room and order effing chicken. Tom's lawyers then jumped in very quickly and claimed that the actor was only joking, and in fact is a staunch supporter of the troops, but the tension was very clearly real. Number 9. Thandie Newton. When speaking with Vulture, Newton revealed exactly why working with Tom Cruise on the 2000 film Mission Impossible was a total nightmare. When asked why she never filmed another movie in the franchise, the actress said, "Oh, I was never asked. I was so scared of Tom. He was a very dominant individual. He tries super hard to be a nice person." She described him as really stressed and dominant, recounting an incident on set in which she and Cruise attempted to finish a night scene on the balcony. Quote, "I don't think it was a very well written scene. I get angry with him, we're frustrated at each other, and Tom made a decision at the very beginning of the movie, unbeknownst certainly to me, that he didn't speak English, which I think was very helpful to him, but it was extremely unhelpful to the rest of us." Thandie went on to say that Tom got so frustrated with her performance that it just pushed her further into a place of terror and insecurity. But despite everything, Thandie insisted that she doesn't think poorly of Tom as a person. Quote, "He wasn't horrible, it was just that he was really stressed. But the pressure, he takes on a lot. I think he has this sense that only he can do everything as best as it can be done." Number 8. Brooke Shields. Telling women what they can and can't wear is one way to make yourself extremely unpopular among the female demographic, but telling them how to give birth is a different kind of insult entirely. Just ask Brooke Shields after she had to deal with public shaming from Tom Cruise, who went on the record criticizing her decision to use antidepressants to help her with postpartum depression. Quote, "When someone says medication has helped them, it is to cope. It didn't cure anything. There is no science. There is nothing that can cure them whatsoever." And if that wasn't condescending enough for you, he added, "I care about Brooke Shields because I think she's an incredibly talented woman, but look at where her career has gone." But Brooke was not having it and took the opportunity to stand up for herself and new mothers everywhere. She said, "Tom should stick to saving the world from aliens and let women who are experiencing postpartum depression decide what treatment options are best for them." Adding that, "I'm going to take a wild guess and say that Mr. Cruise has never suffered from postpartum depression." She called his comments a disservice to mothers everywhere and said that if any good can come of Mr. Cruise's ridiculous rants, let's hope that it gives much needed attention to a serious disease. Number 7. Brad Pitt. Although the two A-list actors have a lot in common, especially when it comes to their careers, they allegedly couldn't be more at odds with each other. In fact, rumors have it that they have been feuding for 25 years, and it all started with one movie, 1994's Interview with a Vampire. The hit horror film where both actors had starring roles really ignited their resentment for one another. And even though the film was nominated for an Oscar and a Golden Globe upon its release, Brad said that he was miserable on set and that Tom being there certainly didn't help. And when asked about his co-star in an interview, Brad did not bother to hold back his feelings at all. Quote, "He bugged me. There came a point during filming when I started really resenting him. He's North Pole, I'm South. He's always coming at you with a handshake whereas I may bump into you. There was this underlying competition that got in the way of any real conversation." Fast forward to 2009, when both actors were starring in World War II dramas, Brad in Inglourious Basterds and Tom in Valkyrie. Not only was Brad's film way better received, but to add insult to injury, he reportedly called Tom's film a ridiculous movie. Number 6. Nicole Kidman. Although it's been over for decades, Nicole Kidman's marriage to Tom Cruise is still one of Hollywood's most talked about relationships. But at the time of meeting, he was still married to Mimi Rogers. Tom eventually divorced his first wife in February of 1990, and less than 1 year later, he exchanged vows with Nicole. They even adopted 2 children, Isabella Jane and Connor Anthony, and eventually went on to make 2 more movies together as a couple. But as we all know, their marriage was far from perfect, and they ended up splitting up a decade later in 2001. Looking back on the divorce, Nicole said, quote, "I was so young when I got married. I look back now and I'm like, what?" She told Red Magazine that she felt isolated during her marriage, and even when she won an Oscar, she described it as, "I was holding a gold statue and I was the loneliest I'd ever been." The divorce took Nicole by surprise, and it got very messy very quickly with the custody battle. In the end, Tom allegedly turned her children against her, as he was granted full custody of their kids, and ended up raising both of them to be Scientologists. But despite all the heartbreak, nothing beats that iconic photo of Nicole leaving her attorney's office, jumping for joy after their divorce was finalized. Number 5. Alec Baldwin. Another celebrity who has had no trouble calling out Tom Cruise was fellow actor Alec Baldwin in 2009. The dirty rock star hosted Elle magazine's Women in Hollywood dinner and award show, and what he said had even Tom's wife at the time, Katie Holmes, laughing along with everyone. The actor joked about coming up with a solution to the disproportionate salaries between men and women in Hollywood, and then seemingly came up with an idea to solve the pay gap. Quote, "I believe we can balance the scales if Tom Cruise would lower his quote by a mere $29 million. I realize this may be a little bit unfair since he's not here to defend himself, and I really don't want to put all of this on one man, but if I had to, that man would be Tom Cruise." He went on to assure the audience that his own salary was nothing compared to Tom's. In fact, his annual salary, as he said, is the budget from mints that were featured in one of his movies. But as the saying goes, there really is a grain of truth in every joke. According to Variety, the actor is expected to earn $100 million or more from his new movie Top Gun Maverick, which would be one of the biggest paydays for an actor for a single movie ever. Number 4. Leah Remini. A former longtime Scientologist, King of Queens star Leah Remini opened up about her experiences in the church in her 2015 memoir Troublemaker, much to the disdain of Tom Cruise. In her book, Leah also made some shocking allegations about several well-known Hollywood celebrities. In fact, she recalled a time that she and her husband, Angelo, spent time at Tom Cruise's Beverly Hills mansion when he invited a group of well-known Scientologists and other celebrities including Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. He announced to all the guests that he wanted to play hide and seek and pressured everyone to join in. Remini also explained another bizarre incident when Tom had a meltdown over cookies. Quote, "Once he wanted to make cookies, and there was a package of pre-packaged cookie dough on the counter. He asked, 'Guys, where's the cookie stuff?' Tom seemed like a child who had never been told no, and he screamed at his assistant." And when Top Gun Maverick came out, Remini cautioned fans about supporting him, saying, "Don't let the movie star charm fool you. And no, I will not watch the movie, nor will I ever support or approve of this scam of a man." So she's clearly not one to forgive or forget. Number 3. Katie Holmes. Back in 2012, the former Hollywood power couple Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes announced to the world that they were getting a divorce after 6 years of marriage. News of the A-list split sent shockwaves through the world of show business and sparked waves of rumors and speculation as to why the pair decided to call it quits. After a whirlwind romance, the couple got married in a luxurious Italian wedding ceremony and welcomed their first child together, Suri Cruz. So their divorce came as a shock to everyone. The major reason was allegedly Katie's aversion to raising their daughter in Scientology. Tom basically confirmed this during a 2013 deposition, admitting that this was one of the reasons that his ex-wife filed for divorce. He also revealed that his daughter, Suri, who was just 7 years old at the time, was no longer a practicing member of the Church of Scientology. This was a pretty surprising admission, considering that those who leave the religion are often cut off from other practicing members, which is probably why Katie won sole custody of Suri, which reportedly included ironclad rulings that she would not be exposed to anything Scientology related. And to this day, it appears as though the former couple aren't exactly on good terms, as Tom reportedly hasn't even seen his daughter in years. Number 2. Mickey Rourke. In a new interview with Piers Morgan Uncensored, the boxer turned actor was asked about Tom Cruise, and he made it quite clear that he wasn't a fan at all. It was mentioned that his new movie, Top Gun Maverick, made over $1 billion at the box office, and Rourke said, "That doesn't mean jack to me. This guy's been doing the same effing part for 35 years. I got no respect for that." Rourke went on to list some of the actors whose careers he does enjoy and admire, unlike Tom's. And when Morgan asked whether or not he thinks of Cruise as a good actor, Rourke just said, "I think he's irrelevant in my world." And back in 2005, when Tom criticized Brooke Shields for taking antidepressants, Mickey spoke out against him then. Quote, "My therapist saved my effing life and my career. I don't care what Tom Cruise says about therapy. F him." Picking on poor Brooke Shields. People need medicine and they need therapists. Let the Scientologists go effing live on a planet of their own. He was referring to the fact that Scientologists strictly oppose psychiatry and therapy as it goes against their core beliefs. So he's made it pretty clear that he doesn't think very highly of the Hollywood star. And coming in at number 1, John Travolta. Both are active, high-ranking members of the Church Church of Scientology, but it has been since revealed that the two are not exactly friends. The truth came out when a former bodyguard from the church, Brendan Teague, revealed in 2018 that John Travolta was furious when Tom achieved the highest honor in the organization in 2008. He was awarded the Freedom Medal of Valor from the leader of the organization, David Miscavige. This award is only given to its most dedicated member. John was also said to be frustrated over the fact that Tom has become a major player in the church, and to this day is one of the best known members in the world. Brendan Teague claimed that this event left Travolta feeling extremely jealous. Eventually he grew so angry that he decided to express himself and wrote a scathing letter to Miscavige, which reportedly included the question, "What the hell was this medal all about?" The reason being is that the actor believed himself to be the most dedicated member of the church, and had allegedly introduced more members than any other celebrity. So when he was passed over for the award, John began to despise Tom. It didn't help that only 2 years earlier, John wasn't invited to Tom's wedding with Katie Holmes, so their relationship was already rocky to begin with.
Coming at number 10 today, we have John Oliver. It seems like now that Meghan Markle and Harry have come out to speak their truth in their new documentary series, Meghan and Harry, a chillingly accurate clip of John Oliver warning Meghan Markle has started to resurface again. Back in 2018, Stephen Colbert would be left feeling slightly surprised when John Oliver wasn't excited about the then upcoming royal wedding between Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And 5 years later, the video is actually starting to make a lot of sense. Following the CBS special, an old late night show clip featuring John giving Meghan a persistent warning by saying, "I would not blame her if she pulled out at last minute. I don't think you need to just see the pilot episode of The Crown to get a basic sense that she might be marrying into a family that could cause some emotional complications." I mean, they're an emotionally stunted group of fundamentally flawed people doing a very silly pseudo job. That's what she's marrying into. So I hope she likes it. It's going to be weird for her. At the time of the interview, John would even note that he wouldn't even want to marry into the royal family himself. But the fact that he warned the public that she might back out, and the fact that she backed out of her royal duties is pretty shocking. That he warned us about this and then she married into the royal family anyways. Queen Elizabeth II. Even though Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made a trip to the UK in April of 2021 to visit Queen Elizabeth, it seems like the late Majesty was still less than pleased with her grandson's wife. An inside source would even come out to say Her Majesty believes Meghan and her publicity-obsessed antics pose a real threat to the monarchy. As she faced her final days, Elizabeth detests the self-centered newcomer for tearing Harry from his family to start a new life in America. The truth is, the Hollywood life has always been Meghan's dream, and Harry is her meal ticket. It was also noted that since the beginning, the Queen has always been very suspicious of Meghan, as Meghan has never been able to accept the royal rulebook. But still, because of her grandson, the Queen gave her many chances, and she hated how the Duchess of Sussex betrayed her. It was also stated that the Queen felt like Meghan used her title to gain an ambitious career in politics, which is a big no-no for the British family. After a while, even Queen Elizabeth lost patience with Meghan as she kept thumbing her nose at the royals, and she was letting everyone know what was happening behind the palace doors. Before the Queen passed away, she was really upset that Meghan would accuse the royals of being so cruel, uncaring, racist, and that she even had the guts to diss Prince William's wife, Kate. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming at number 8, Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton will never forget how Meghan Markle treated her, but she also has no need to prolong their feud. For years, rumors have been swirling around about a row between the Princess of Wales and the Duchess of Sussex at the wedding to Prince Harry in May 2018, and ever since, the relationship between the two ladies has remained very tense, with Kate saying she found it all to be very mortifying when she heard Meghan was claiming that she actually made Meghan cry during a row over the bridesmaid dresses. Kate has never wanted any suggestion of a rift with with Meghan to come out to the press. So when Meghan started circulating lies about their relationship, it was really hard for Kate to deal with, and she did everything she could to keep her feelings private. While inside sources have claimed that Kate and Meghan both have very different versions of the story, she feels like she's not in the position to respond, as she thought it was all sorted out, and now Meghan's airing out all this dirty laundry, and it's just mortifying for Kate. Number 7, Prince William. A friend of Kate Middleton has claimed that Prince William absolutely hates Meghan Markle. In an explosive interview with the Daily Beast, the unnamed friend of Princess of Wales shared just how much Prince William dislikes Meghan and blames her for his falling out with Prince Harry. The source would go on to say the family blames Meghan for it all. Really, they absolutely hate her. Basically, it's a huge disaster. The insider continued to say, growing up, the brothers were so close. They lost their mom and their dad was disengaged. So they had this incredible bond. Everyone knew it. And then Meghan came along, everyone warned him off, but he wouldn't listen, and she just ripped him away. The bond is gone, completely gone, and this film is the latest betrayal. Now William really hates them both, and the friend would state further that it was really toxic and destructive for them all at the end of the day because they were family, and that their whole family has been ruined by Meghan. Number 6, King Charles. With Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continuing to air out the royal family grievances, despite making a few attempts to repair their relationship with the royal family after the Queen's passing, the main issue at play seems to be the ongoing release of their various media projects. With Harry's book and the couple's docu-series being released, it has caused some major tensions between the royals. And Charles has been left feeling pretty betrayed when it comes to Meghan's actions. If you don't recall, during Meghan's and Harry's wedding in 2018, Meghan's father couldn't attend, so she asked Charles if he would walk her down the aisle, and he would agree to Meghan's request because he's always actually been quite fond of her in the beginning. But now he's actually just somehow bewildered. The Queen was used to handling this kind of thing, and it didn't really throw her as much as it's thrown Charles, and understandably, it's because his son and daughter-in-law have been saying some pretty hurtful things. That was actually just really uncalled for, especially when the royal family actually did so much for them, and they did so much to help Meghan transition into her royal duties, and she was just so ungrateful towards the whole process, and it seems like she just never wanted to learn how to follow the royal ways. Number 5, Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne has never been afraid to share her opinions on Harry and Meghan, although at times she has defended the couple in the past. She has even gone as far to say she felt sorry for them at one point, to make a full 180 calling out the couple for their disrespectful docu-series. Sharon is absolutely done with Meghan playing the victim, as she believes that instead, Meghan should be using her platform to raise awareness for her charity rather than the way she has been treated by the media and the royal family. Sharon will go on to say that Meghan's actions are trash, and that all she ever talks about is how she is treated poorly because of her race and how she acts. Sharon will go on to note that Meghan should instead be grateful because she has a great life, a beautiful family, and she's very much in love and needs to get a life and move on already. With every interview Meghan and Harry do, it seems like all they do is whine about how there's no positive points to any of their stories or proof to back up their stories, so for the most part, Sharon just thinks they're lying. While the press may be hard on Meghan when she came to England, they're hard on so many people, including the rest of the royal family. Number 4, Jeremy Clarkson. Back in December, Jeremy Clarkson would publish a very misogynistic article about Meghan in The Sun, where he wrote that he hated the Duchess of Sussex on a cellular level. In the article, Jeremy would reference a famous scene from Game of Thrones where he wrote, "At night, I'm unable to sleep as I lie there grinding my teeth and dreaming of the day when Meghan Markle is made to parade naked through the streets of every town in Britain while the crowds chant shame and throw lumps of excrement at her." In a tweet published after the article was released, Jeremy would call it a clumsy reference to the scene in Games of Thrones and acknowledge that it had gone down badly with a number of different people. Jeremy would then say, "I was horrified to cause so much hurt, and I shall be more careful in the future." His article would come with the release of Meghan and Harry's Netflix docu-series, in which the couple would open up about the social media threats they received in recent years. Jeremy's article would then spark near immediate backlash from Brits, as Jeremy let his feelings about Meghan and Harry loose. Number 3. Howard Stern. US radio host Howard Stern has slammed both Prince Harry and Meghan Markle over their new docu-series, branding them as whiny bees. When the first 3 episodes arrived on the Netflix platform, it would feature revelations about everything from the couple's first date, Princess Diana, and supposed racism in the UK. However, Howard was clearly not impressed with the series, and he would criticize the pair, saying, "The show is very weird for 2 people who have historically pleaded for privacy." The couple who stepped away as royals have been able to retain their royal titles, and they have consistently issued statements arguing privacy was not the reason they quit the royal family. Stern would then question the motivation behind the series, which he described as being like watching the Kardashians, except it was boring to watch. Howard would say, "It's been painful. I wouldn't stay with it, but my wife wants to watch it. You know, we have shows that we watch, but they come off like such whiny bees. I gotta tell you, I just don't get it. There's nothing real about the relationship from the beginning to end. Those 2 whining about why, and they don't like me, and she wants to be beloved in this country. Man, oh man. It's just very weird to watch 2 people screaming. We wanted our privacy. We wanted the press to leave us alone. But then we saw them all release everything about their lives on Netflix, so Howard, I personally just don't get it either." Number 2. Piers Morgan. Meghan Markle has been dubbed as being manipulative and controlling by Piers Morgan, who slammed the Duchess after the prince addressed the United Nations on Nelson Mandela Day. In his opinion, the Good Morning Britain would claim that Meghan was doing everything she could to socially climb the ladder, and it's clear that she is actually a ridiculous, two-faced sham. The brutal takedown from Piers would come right after Meghan won her bombshell privacy legal battle with the publisher of the Mail over a letter she wrote to her estranged father. Meghan has previously won the case, but gained a second victory after the publisher fought for an appeal in the case. Well, Meghan described it not only being a victory for her, but for anyone who felt scared to stand up for what's right. In a powerful statement afterwards, throughout the privacy case, there had been a number of bombshell moments from the news that Meghan drafted the letter to her dad knowing that it could be leaked. However, Piers would hit back at Meghan's claims, and he would mock her for impersonating some kind of letter day Winston Churchill rallying a nation in wartime, rather than an unemployed actress fleecing her unelected marital royal status for gazillions from her California mansion. Number 1. Bethany Frankel. Bethany Frankel is always doubling down on her criticism of Meghan Markle as she claims that Meghan has painted herself into a corner following her royal exit. Bethany has said, "Timing is everything. Don't believe you owe BS. And play chess, not checkers." Bethany has also claimed that Meghan caused herself to be in a terrible situation when she and Prince Harry stepped down from their senior royal duties in 2020, and that she effed it all up when it came to her whole life outside of the royal bubble. Bethany would also note that Meghan is a polarizing person, and that we shouldn't get it twisted, as Meghan is very much like a housewife, and she can't stop talking about very things she wants to be, and that is to be irrelevant. Bethany would also state when Meghan left the royal family, she should have learned something, and that's if she wanted to leave the royal family, she should have just left the royal family, but instead we see her talking about the royal family in every single interview. But she never wanted to participate in the royal family game until she left the royal family and made it her own game. It honestly takes more energy not to forgive, but Meghan continues to hold on to her judges and expose the royal family in very condescending ways. Coming in number 10 today, we have Samantha Cohen. Samantha Cohen was the Queen's assistant private secretary before she moved to Kensington Palace after she was entrusted by the monarchy to prepare Meghan for life in the royal family. Originally from Australia, Miss Cohen had planned to quit Buckingham Palace back in 2018, but agreed to stay on to help Meghan navigate through her first months as a royal. Samantha was a guest at Harry and Meghan's wedding in May of 2018 and was believed to have helped play a huge role in preparing Meghan for a garden party at Buckingham Palace, which was her first appearance as the Duchess of Sussex. She left her role with the couple in October of 2019 amid claims that she was experiencing extreme stress, and went on to work for the environmental charity Cool Earth before leaving the royal family. Samantha spent 18 years with the royal family and was described as being deeply committed to serving the monarchy. Jason Knopf then confirmed why Samantha had left, and she made it really clear that working for Harry Harry and Meghan was like working for a couple of teenagers, and that they were impossible and pushed her to her limits, and that she was miserable. Number 9, Wendy Williams. Before Meghan got married or got her job on Suits, Meghan Markle applied to be on the Wendy Williams show back in 2019. Wendy would discuss Meghan's application by saying, "Meghan wanted to work here. She came here to be one of our models. We do fashion," things like that. This was before she met the man, the redhead Harry. But Meghan knows Wendy's show. Later, Wendy would say that she didn't have any sympathy for Meghan Markle after the Duchess emotionally confessed to having trouble fitting into her royal life, and that Meghan knew what she was signing up for. When Wendy shared a clip that showed Meghan saying she had no clue what getting serious with Prince Harry would mean for her future, Wendy would call out the former actress by saying, "Yes, you did. You knew exactly what you were doing," would say to the audience of her show, "And I applaud her plot action on the royal situation, but please don't try to garner sympathy from us. You knew what you were doing." Wendy then went on to say that Meghan shouldn't be surprised that the paparazzi was obsessed with her relationship as she was now a royal, and that they were not following her in Suits because no one knew who she was, and that she should have also listened to her friends before she married the prince because they were right. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, we have Katy Perry. Just before Meghan Markle and Prince Harry moved into Katy Perry's neighborhood, Katy Perry would ignite a feud when she ultimately criticized Meghan, and it would apparently cause Meghan to hold a nasty grudge. When Meghan got married to Prince Harry on May 19, 2018, she would wear a pure white boat neck gown by designer Claire Wait Keller of French fashion house Givenchy. Just days after the wedding, Perry let everyone know that she wasn't a fan of the dress and that she would have done one that was more fitting. The California Girls artist then ended up comparing Meghan's dress to the Alexander McQueen dress Catherine wore just before she married Prince William in 2011. She would then say that Kate won. Despite her criticism of what Meghan wore, Katy would try to say that she did love the former Suits star. However, Meghan hasn't gotten over the small bit of criticism and holds a massive grudge over Katy Perry, so it's clear that Meghan just hates everyone who doesn't go along with what she is doing, and Katy Perry exposed that. Number 7, Candace Owens. On January 7th, American author Candace Owens would express her views on Meghan Markle after Meghan's husband started to make headlines for his book titled Spare. Just days after the couple appeared in a hit Netflix documentary, taking to Twitter, Candace would say, "Meghan's putting pregnancy tests next to the locks of Princess Diana's hair, plus asking for private moments at Diana's gravesite to speak to her are not things to laugh at." The author, who has more than 3 million followers, would also add that Meghan's moves were terrifyingly psychotic and manipulative actions. And she would then also note that Meghan is extremely dangerous. In past interviews back in 2021 following Meghan and Harry's interview with Oprah, Candace would claim that Meghan was lying about the royal family being racist and that Meghan was a narcissist. Candace would also claim that Meghan, when she said the royal family still had traditional ways, she disagreed and just opted to call them racist. Candace would also go on to say that you would not be able to discern just by looking at Meghan Markle that she's black, so she could claim that she had been a victim of racism, and that her and Harry were implying that everything happened to them is because of her blackness is a sickening level of scapegoating. Number 6, Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly has never been afraid to hold back on her issues with Meghan Markle, especially when it comes to the concerns the Duchess of Sussex references to Prince Harry. During an episode of Megyn Kelly's show podcast, Kelly questioned the way Meghan referred to her husband by saying, "We get it. You bagged the gorilla. Congratulations. You got the big bear. You want us all to know." The comments would then come just one day after Meghan offered a glimpse at her home life with Harry. Also during the show, she would label Meghan as a commenter and would express her irritation she has towards Markle's repeating mentions of her own podcast that she married into the British royal family. Kelly would say there seems to be no limit on their appetite for ripping on the royals, whom they owe all of their fame to, literally most of their fortune. In the past, Kelly has also frequently criticized Meghan by claiming that she is a B-list actress and Harry is thin-skinned, and she even scorned Meghan for saying that she felt objectified when serving as the briefcase girl on the NBC game show Deal or No Deal. Number 5, Jason Kenoff. Jason Kenoff joined Kensington Palace back in 2015 and became the communications secretary for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Known to be be a trusted staffer. He was even asked to help with private letters to Meghan Markle's family. Jason was working with the royals at the time the allegations against the newspaper publisher were made, and just 2 months after Meghan asked for his feedback on the famous private letter to her father, Jason would turn his back on her and is said to be the person who submitted the bullying allegations to the HR department in October of 2018 that claimed Meghan was bullying royal staff members. The claims were raised to HR in a bid to get Buckingham Palace to protect the staff that Jason alleged were coming under pressure from the Duchess. A source would then also tell Times that Prince Harry also then pleaded with Jason not to pursue the bullying allegations. A month after reporting the allegations of bullying, Jason would hand in his notice and he would take up a job as an advisor to Prince William, and he is now the chief executive of the Cambridge's Royal Foundation. On top of the letter allegations Jason would hold against Meghan, he would also state that Meghan drove 2 of her personal assistants out of the household and undermined the confidence of the third one. Number 4, Camilla. Camilla tried to have a good relationship with Meghan Markle before her marriage to Prince Harry, and in the end the Queen Consort found Meghan Markle to be very disrespectful. A report would then claim that she was unable to give basic advice to Meghan because of the latter's behavior. Camilla had her own reservations about Meghan Markle much before the actor and Prince Harry tied the knot. However, Camilla chose not to voice her opinion to her stepson at the time. Since the beginning, it's said that Camilla was suspicious about the adventures from Los Angeles, and she found it really hard to believe that Meghan would sacrifice her career and independence to serve silently as a team player devoted to the monarchy. When Meghan and Harry stepped down from their royal duties, Camilla would start to refer to Meghan as a minx, because Camilla believed that Meghan was a self-seeking troublemaker whose antics would cause tears. According to palace insiders, Camilla also declared war on Meghan and even used her husband King Charles to try to stop her from becoming part of the royal family, as Camilla felt like Meghan was unfit to belong to the institution. She said Meghan has so many strikes against her and that she's unfit to become a royal. These strikes are said to include being a divorcee and a commoner, and if she had been queen at the time, she would have never allowed Meghan and Harry's union to go forward. And number 3, we have Katie Hopkins. Back in 2019, Katie Hopkins would start a scandal that got the whole country talking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle after she made comments about the couple's decision to step down as senior members of the royal family. The Daily Mail writer and media personality made it clear that she had no respect for someone like Meghan Markle. She would then make her first of many moves to prove her distaste for Meghan when she bashed the Duchess for being addicted to her Instagram page. Katie also became very vocal when she labeled Meghan as being an American version of Kate Middleton and a budgeted Princess Diana with an Oscar-winning innocent face. Her anger would then go furious after Prince Harry started to plead for his girlfriend's privacy with the press. Katie would then go off on her rant and say, if you don't want Miss Sparkle trolled on social media, advise her to stay away from posting pictures of banana spooning on her Instagram account. Number 2, Erin Foster. If you don't know who Erin Foster is, she is a comedy performer and a writer who has a notorious history for blasting several celebrities on her Instagram page, and this includes Meghan Markle. However, the way she chose to shade Meghan Markle was actually pretty hilarious. In November 2017, Erin would post a photo of Meghan from her Deal or No Deal days, and she would caption the image by saying, "Never forget." Later, during another occasion, she would opt to post another image of Meghan holding a briefcase from the same show, and she would proceed to add an even more rude caption that read, "This briefcase is filled with my plans to be famous." Now, it's definitely no secret that Erin considers the princess to be nothing but a fame-hungry social climber, and fans probably should have listened to her when Meghan first started her sob story that showed no facts to back up her claims. And coming in number 1 today, we have Chrissy Swan. Back in 2017, when the whole world was swooning over Prince Harry and his American bride-to-be Meghan Markle, one person who was not a fan from the starts of the Suits star was Australian TV personality Chrissy Swan, who admitted on Facebook that she wasn't able to warm to her future royal, when she said, "For some reason, I still haven't warmed to her." Chrissy would then go on to note that the reason she was so skeptical when it came to the former actress was because of her manner. She would then even note that she thought Meghan was just acting the whole time, and many people seem to have agreed with Chrissy's controversial position, with one fan saying, "I have reservations too. I'm not sure she loves the man as as much as she loves the role. But it seems like Chrissy was right to have her suspicion, because Meghan does look like she's portraying a concocted humility of acting to gain sympathy from her followers. Coming in at number 10 today, we have Kate Middleton. When sibling rivalry is a common thing, Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle have drama that is a bit more than that. When news started to arise that there was a lot of tension between Kate and Meghan as the two were not getting along, this meant that Harry and William were also not getting along. With the whole family not seeing eye to eye, it became super hard on everyone, including the Queen. It said that the Queen was actually so fed up with the drama that she even ordered Kate and Meghan to sit down and sort it all out. With Kate feeling like Meghan was using her to climb the royal ladder, Kate would even use this time to state that she was very suspicious of Meghan and that she had no interest in becoming Meghan's friend. Soon the media would even start to state that Meghan made Kate cry on her wedding day. Although Kate would end up sending Meghan flowers to apologize, Kate still didn't want to have an opportunity to become close to the actress. It said that Kate was really hesitant about pursuing a friendship with Meghan when they first met, as Kate is a very private person and she likes to keep things that way. While Kate tends to keep a really tight circle, she doesn't let a lot of people in, and she's always felt like there was something extremely off with Meghan. While the tension between the two has become more tense, the royal family, including Kate, have decided to cut Meghan and Harry out for continuing to spread lies about the royal family in an attempt to tarnish their legacy. At number 9, Piers Morgan. The feud between Piers Morgan and Meghan Markle tends to get pretty nasty at times. While Piers has stated over and over since the beginning that Meghan was a liar and that we shouldn't dive too deep into her story, we probably should have listened to him. Piers' relationship with Meghan began back in 2015 when the actress apparently messaged Piers after he had followed some of her Suits castmates. While Meghan went on to claim that she was a big fan of him in the beginning, I think it's safe to say that she probably isn't a big fan now. When things rapidly started to disintegrate between the two after Meghan became a household name thanks to her romance with Prince Harry, it seems like their feud first started to boil over Meghan's first message to him. In 2016, after Piers and Meghan had been in constant communication with each other, when Meghan went to a private members club where she met Prince Harry, Piers would then never hear from Meghan again. So it's clear that her relationship with Piers was only for clickbait so she could get some views. However, when Harry came around, she realized that she could get everything she wanted, or Piers could give it to her, and essentially she left Piers behind. As soon as it was announced that Meghan was dating Harry, that's when his first dig towards Meghan came public, and since he's continued to mock her and call her out on her behavior. Now, we have seen dozens of people get ghosted by Meghan when she sees that their relationship isn't getting her anywhere in the spotlight, as we've seen her do it to her friends, her ex-husband, and almost all of her family. Hey Peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in at number 8, we have Wendy Williams. It's no lie that Wendy Williams loves talking about celebrity gossips. While hosting the Wendy Williams show back in 2021, she didn't shy away from her true thoughts about Meghan Markle when Meghan and Harry made the decision to leave the royal family. Now, after Wendy watched the groundbreaking interview Meghan and Harry had with Oprah, she would cast her own doubts about Meghan and claim that her friends actually tried to warn Meghan not to marry Prince Harry because the media probably wouldn't be too kind to her, as they're not really kind to any of the royal family. With Wendy claiming that Meghan weaseled her way into the kingdom before leaving the United Kingdom for Los Angeles, with Wendy claiming that Meghan was lying about her story, Wendy would then claim that Meghan should have listened to her friends instead of pretending not to get it when her friends warned her about the British media's fixation on the royals. Wendy would also state that Meghan knew what she was getting herself into when she joined the royal family and that no one really has sympathy for her. Wendy would then try to claim that Meghan knew what she was doing because no one knew her when she was on Suits, and Wendy only knew her prior to becoming a royal because she wanted to be a runway model for her company and came in for an interview. Coming at number 7, we have Corey Vitiello. So it appears that Meghan Markle was still living with Canadian Society chef Corey Vitiello when she went on her first date with Prince Harry. In a recently published biography, Tom Bauer would then claim that Meghan was still living with Corey when she set up a date with Prince Harry in London back in 2016. Tom would write that the romantic relationship between Corey and Meghan was hanging on by a thread before she left for Europe in the summer of 2016, yet both were still having troubles with discussing on how their relationship would end. But Corey still living in the couple's house while Meghan left for the United Kingdom, he had no idea that their relationship was completely doomed. The two first met when Meghan was eating at his restaurant with Suits cast, and Meghan even gushed over Corey in a review in The Take where she dubbed Corey as her favorite chef. When their relationship had finally run its course, instead of breaking things off with Corey, she went to England to seek a new romance. While in England, Meghan would then be set up on a date with Harry by a friend. And then, when Harry came to visit Meghan in Toronto, Corey would realize that the relationship was officially over and Meghan's cruel and sensitive soul would be revealed to the world. Coming in at number 6, we have Trevor Engelson. If anyone knows the true colors of Meghan Markle, then it would be her ex-husband Trevor Engelson. Trevor, who is a producer, has kept it pretty tight-lipped when it comes to talking about Meghan. However, when royal biographer Andrew Morton released a book on Meghan called Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, the book would dive into the idea that Trevor actually had a lot to say about Meghan. He was actually just waiting for someone to believe his side of the story. According to Andrew, Trevor actually dislikes Meghan. When Trevor and Meghan first got married, everything was fine. However, after she started to rise to fame, she would begin to treat Trevor like the dirt under her shoe. And if this isn't giving you any red flags, then maybe I should bring up the fact that the palace staff has also said that once Meghan moved in, she also treated them like the dirt under her shoe. Trevor felt elevated in their marriage at first. He didn't really think anything was going wrong. However, things finally ended and it would leave behind a never-ending cold fury towards Meghan. With Meghan once claiming that she couldn't imagine her life without Trevor, she would then mail him back his wedding ring instead of breaking things off in person, and she would then come to the house to collect her blender. And it said that Meghan initially just called things off because he refused to cast her in any of his shows. Number 5, Erin Foster. Erin Foster finds Meghan Markle a spoiled brat who has it all. Now, Erin is a comedian, performer, and writer who is known for her history of putting several celebrities on blast, including Meghan. In the months of November 2017, Erin would come for Meghan when she posted a photo of Meghan from her days on the game show Deal or No Deal. And she captioned the photo as "Never Forget." Later on, she would then post another picture of Meghan where it would show Meghan with a briefcase from the same show. Erin would then proceed to caption the photo with an even more rude caption that read, "This briefcase is filled with my plans to become famous." It's no secret that Erin considers Meghan to be nothing more than a fame-hungry social climber, and with everything that's been going on lately, it proves that Meghan is definitely someone who played her cards right to get everything she ever wanted. And now that she has it, Erin isn't scared to call her out on it. While the whole world at first criticized Erin for posting the picture, they should have been looking at the facts that Meghan knew exactly what she was getting herself into. And number 4, Christy Swan. Australian TV personality and author Christy Swan has hated Meghan since the beginning, and following the news on the royal engagement between Prince Harry and Meghan, the radio host wrote on Facebook, "For some reason, I still haven't warmed to her. It's her manner. She looks like she's performing to me. It looks like she's portraying a concocted humility of acting." While Meghan is indeed a brilliant actress, it's not hard to see why Christy believes that she is acting to show the world that she is head over heels for Harry. Since the beginning, Christy has always been keen on critiquing Meghan Markle. She even first opened up about her judgment on her personal Facebook page, which would state that Christy would never warm up to Meghan, as she was under the impression that since the beginning, Meghan has always been acting. And since Meghan has continued to play the same narrative that the royals hated her, and we probably should take this as a hint that there might be some truth behind what Chrissy has been saying. However, instead, Chrissy's Facebook page has turned into an open field of judgment, as hundreds of fans have expressed their agreement or disagreement with Chrissy. So do you think Chrissy is right and Meghan is just acting? And let us know in the comments below. And number 3, Samantha Grant. Meghan Markle's estranged sister, Samantha Grant, would expose her relationship with her sister in a tell-all book. Samantha would highlight that Meghan isn't as innocent as she seems. Even though they grew up in different lives sharing the same father, Samantha doesn't have any sort of relationship with Meghan whatsoever. When the rumors began to swirl about Prince Harry's engagement to Meghan, Samantha stated that she felt like Meghan was taking advantage of her current situation to become a household name. Samantha would even state that Meghan has a history of lying and manipulating certain settings in her sites for no reason. While Samantha isn't exactly a celebrity, she's still worth mentioning because who knows you better than your own siblings. Also, she's had some pretty good opinions on Meghan that we should have listened to before before we all took Meghan's side in the beginning. Samantha has labeled her sister as a social climber and has claimed that when she needed her sister at the most, she was never there for her. Later, Samantha would even publicly bash Meghan again when she claimed that she wasn't even invited to her wedding. Given that the two sisters did end up growing up in different households and the fact that they did live different lives for most of their lives, while the world bashed Samantha for just looking for attention when she came out with her story, however, given that we've seen Meghan do a complete 180 in years to come after Samantha's comments, it's safe to say that she wasn't just using Meghan's name for clickbait. Number 2, Katy Hopkins. It's no secret that Katy Hopkins hates Meghan Markle, as she's been scrutinizing every one of Meghan's moves since the beginning. When the scandal of Meghan and Harry first started to make headlines, Katy would hop on the trend and she would share a shocking media rant with the world. The Daily Mail writer and media personality made it really clear that she has no respect for someone like Meghan Markle, with Katy finding her move to leave the royal family distasteful. She would even bash Meghan for being addicted to Instagram. Katy has also been very vocal when it comes to labeling Meghan as an American Kate Middleton and a budget Princess Diana with an Oscar-winning innocent face. Katy was also furious when Prince Harry pleaded to the media to respect his girlfriend's privacy, as Katy would say in her social media rant that if you don't want Miss Sparkle trolled on social media, advise her to stay away from posting pictures of bananas spooning on her Instagram account. Katy's rant would also include her wishing that Meghan and Harry would end up losing their royal titles. She feels like Meghan's relationship is coming off as a desperate to be a celebrity move. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Daniel Radcliffe. Now, Daniel Radcliffe doesn't just have a distaste for Meghan Markle, but he honestly just hates the whole royal family altogether. Daniel has never been afraid to confess that he doesn't agree with the whole country's appreciation for the royal family. Even though he is a patriot by heart, he doesn't understand why there is still a need for monarchy. He also didn't shy away from stating that he is extremely proud to be English, however he believes that the monarchy still symbolizes a lot of things wrong with this country, and he doesn't understand why countries still follow the monarchy. While Daniel has said that he does sympathize with Meghan because of the harsh treatment she's gotten from the press, he also doesn't think the royal family is doing anything wrong. He simply just doesn't like them because they represent his symbol of class division, which is something he doesn't particularly like because he is an upper middle class kid. While Daniel has chosen to shade the royal family in the most respectful manner, he definitely chooses to distance himself from the royal family for a reason, and we should probably take that as a hint going forward. At number 10, we have Samantha Cohen. The private secretary to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry said the couple was so difficult and disorderly that it was like working for a couple of teenagers. In a book called The Hidden Power Behind the Crown, highlights how the Duchess of Sussex was once extremely rude while criticizing a plan drawn up by the young female employee in front of other colleagues. William later tried to console the staff and said she was doing a good job. The book also mentioned how the couple bullied Samantha Cohen, who was formerly the Queen's private secretary. However, Samantha joined Harry and Meghan as their interim private secretary after the two got married. The book quoted a source that said nothing Samantha ever did for the couple was good enough. They were impossible and pushed her to her limits. She was miserable. However, the Duchess's lawyers denied in 2021 that Miss Cohen had been bullied, and the couple was always grateful for her support. Number 9, we have Melissa, who was actually Meghan's private secretary. In December of 2018, Meghan lost one of her key staff members. This ignited speculation that the actress was allegedly difficult to work for. Melissa, 39, was Markle's personal assistant for just 6 months. The two clashed over free gifts, including clothes, jewelry, and candles that some companies had sent the Duchess. Melissa followed the rules that royal members cannot accept gifts from commercial organizations, but it claims her approach of handling this rule did not go down with Meghan well. In June of that year, it is said that Buckingham Palace effectively was able to bury a report that outlined allegations of bullying done by the Duchess of Sussex. And the royal aides announced in March that year prior that they were launching an inquiry into Meghan's behavior with staff. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8, we have Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams once addressed to the press saying, "Nobody feels sorry for Meghan Markle." The statement comes after Wendy Williams said that Meghan's friends tried to warn her not to marry Prince Harry. She went on to say, You know what I'm saying? Like, you meet a prince and your friend's going to tell you not to marry him. Or Meghan's lying to get sympathy. The host then went on to say in a clip from a documentary, Harry and Meghan, an African Journey, that showed Meghan claiming that she didn't get it when her friends warned her about the British media fixation. Williams went on to say, yes you did. You knew exactly what you were doing, and please don't try to garner any sympathy from us. You knew what you were doing. The Ask Wendy author assured her audience that she really does like Meghan and Harry, but there's something about the Duchess of Sussex. And she shouldn't be surprised that the paparazzi are everywhere now that she's a royal. They were not following you when you were on Suits. We didn't even know who you are, except when you came for an employment here at Wendy and wanted to be one of our runway models. She then ended the show by saying, you knew exactly what you were signing up for, girl. Number 7, Katy Hopkins. It's the scandal the whole world would be talking about. And Katy Hopkins wasn't shy when it came to her opinion on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to step down as senior members of the royal family. On the night of Kate Middleton's birthday, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex released a statement confirming their intentions to effectively quit royal duties. Adding that they hope to become financially independent, they went on to say, after many months of reflection and internal discussions, we have chosen to make the transition this year and to start carving out progressive new role within this institution. We intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and to work financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. Katy Hopkins then came out to say where it all went wrong with Meghan on an episode aired on Channel 9's 60 Minutes. In the show, Katy explains Meghan is one of the most stuck up people in England and that she always wears bad clothes. Katy then added Meghan is one of the biggest hypocrites there is. While a fan on the show went to say that there's nothing wrong with Meghan, Katy responded by saying there's nothing right about her either. Number 6, Erin Foster. Making a living making fun of celebrities on her Instagram page, Erin Foster is no stranger when it comes to sharing her opinions about Meghan Markle. In November 2017, Erin posted an old photo of Meghan back in her days on the television show Deal or No Deal. Erin posted the photo with a caption that said never forget, but the post did not end there. Erin posted another picture of the Duchess wearing a little dress holding a briefcase, and she captioned the photo, "This briefcase is filled with my plans to be famous." It's no secret that Erin loves to hate on women, so she continued to spend her day arguing with people in the comments who were calling her mean and tone deaf about the post. Many were quick to point out the post seemed personal and that the two must have known each other personally. Number 5, Chrissy Swan. Australian TV personality, radio host, and author Chrissy Swan, in December of 2017 said she hasn't warmed to Prince Harry or his fiancée Meghan Markle. On a Facebook post, Chrissy said that the Duchess is not at all who she appears to be, and she believes the former actress is just acting humble. She's also not the only person who has suggested this narrative, as American TV personality has indicated that Meghan is an opportunist and wouldn't fit in with the royal family. When Chrissy was asked why she had not warmed up to the actress, Chrissy was pressed to elaborate on why she had the feeling she did. She responded by saying it was all because of her manner. She looks like she's portraying a conceited humility of acting. Meghan definitely is going to need some ice for that burn, but it leaves you wondering, is this truly all an act? Or is Meghan telling the truth about how the royal family really is with her? Number 4, Trevor Eagleston. Ex-husband of Meghan Markle, Trevor Eagleston, has pretty much remained silent about his marriage to the retired actress. However, in a royal biography, Andrew Morton hasn't. In a book Andrew wrote titled Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, he highlights that Trevor was full of hatred when it came to the Duchess. And in one chapter he wrote, Trevor went on from cherishing Meghan, and it would deserve his feeling was like he was a piece of something stuck to the bottom of her shoe. The author then went to write, while Meghan was filming Suits in Canada, she ended her relationship with Trevor by mailing back his wedding ring to him. Shortly after, Meghan claimed that she was married to the Hollywood producer. She felt like she didn't always act as if he supported her acting career. A close friend of the two then said Trevor didn't like the dynamic change and he wanted to be the breadwinner and didn't want to share the spotlight. However, Trevor's uncle would then later come out to defend the allegations and would say that's not who his nephew really is. But it's definitely to say we won't be seeing these two work together on sets anytime soon. Number 3, we have Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer once said that Meghan Markle was her nemesis and even explained why in a super hilarious way. Even though the stars aren't actually feuding, it's still worth mentioning the gag of jokes Amy made throughout her pregnancy. Amy first teased her pregnancy with a picture of her head photoshopped over a picture of Meghan Markle's body. The comedian said it's not fun to be pregnant at the same time as the Duchess of Sussex. With the two having very close due dates, they were expected to be delivering their babies by spring in 2019. So Amy confirmed that she would be competing with the royal mom-to-be. Amy definitely wasn't kidding when she brought up Meghan again during a comedy show in November. Amy went on to say, "You know what's not fun? Being pregnant at the same time as Meghan Markle. She's walking around in heels and cradling a baby that's not there." Amy then went on to say because the star was pregnant at the time, she was making Meghan her nemesis because she wasn't going to let her get away with that. While Meghan was out wearing heels, Amy was barely able to put on her flat. It's still worth mentioning that even though Amy is feuding with Markle in a hilarious way, watching her poke a little fun at this running gag was definitely a welcoming distraction to the star to feel better about her own pregnancy blues. Number 2, Daniel Radcliffe. Harry Potter star Daniel Radcliffe hasn't been scared to portray his thoughts on the royal family over the years. He's definitely not a fan. Daniel's comments, especially when it comes to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, have definitely managed to raise some eyebrows, especially when it came to his sarcastic comments he made about the British monarchy back in 2009. During his interview with Daily Beast, Daniel made it clear he wasn't a fan of the royal family by saying he's not a royalist, not at all, and he doesn't see the use of monarchy, though he is a fierce patriot. Radcliffe then went on to note that he's very proud to be English and he thinks the family symbolizes what is wrong with the country. He did go on to say that he doesn't think the family's done anything wrong, but he simply doesn't like what they represent. He noted that the royal family shows a huge symbol when it comes to class division, and it's something he particularly didn't like. While Daniel did admit he totally sympathizes with Meghan because of her harsh treatment she's gotten from the press, you probably won't see these two working together considering Daniel's opinions with the royal family and what they stand for. Number 1, Kate Middleton. With everything going on in the royal family's lives, one aspect of the personal lives that has been an ongoing scandal for the last year, it's no secret people love to read about the alleged rift between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. The media continues to keep us up to date with the latest rifts between the two. While the media does tend to blow things out of proportions, the two have had their fair share of minor disagreements, and one actually made Kate cry. Meghan and Harry's wedding back in May of 2018 was definitely a wedding that wasn't without drama. As it was reported, Meghan and Kate had a disagreement about the Flower Girls outfit. The feud over the dress was so tense, it had Kate in tears over the stressful fitting for her daughter. A source reveals that it was an extremely hot day and there'd been a row over whether the bridesmaids should wear tights. Kate, following the royal family protocol, felt like they should wear tights while Meghan didn't want them to. At the time, Kate was feeling emotional considering she did just give birth. However, before this incident, the two are to be said to have many rifts, and because of these rifts, you definitely won't catch these two in the same room alone.